So this is Carolina, and as you may be able to guess, Carolina is a Carolina Reaper plant. I impulse bought her at Home Depot about a year and a half ago, and I have a bad track record with plants, so when I bought her, I'm like, you know what, we're really going to do this right. So I had some old grow lights in my garage that I got from a foreclosed house I set up on a timer. Then I repotted her as she outgrew her current pot, and she flourished. However, she didn't produce any peppers for me. So I kept her inside over the course of the winter. Then that spring I said, you know what, Carolina, you have been extremely ungrateful. You can go live outside. So she started losing her leaves, and I thought she was done for. However, she rejuvenated herself, and then 6 months later, we have some peppers. So I thought a fun activity to do would be to go try the fruits of my labors on camera. And then in addition to that, I actually have a funny pepper story, so I was figuring I could eat this, and we can see how far I can get through that story before I meet God. So, just for an idea, this is what we're up against, and, let's do this thing. Now it's just kind of like a jalapeno. Oh, yeah. That's a spicy pepper, all right. Ah. All right, and here we go. So, back when I was a teenager, me and all my friends wanted to try ghost peppers. So, I wasn't able to find any fresh ones. However, what I was able to do was find some dried ones on Amazon. So I got a bag of the dried ones on Amazon. And then I got them shipped to me, obviously. Me and my friends, we ate them. Made a funny video. Whew. And anyway, that was about it. So, the problem here is I still had a bag of these peppers with only 2 of them missing. Because one of our friends who was gonna eat them with us saw what they did to us and said, you know what, I'm good. I don't want to do that. So I had another friend's birthday, alright? So I went to his birthday party. He ate one. We laughed at him. I said, you know what, David? I don't want these. You can keep the rest. So, what he did is he had the bright idea to take them to school, right? So he took them to school. And then random kids in random classes that day after lunch just started throwing up randomly, right? And they actually almost shut down the school because they thought they were having a flu epidemic. And as a result, he ended up needing to do like a week of work crew after work, where essentially you just like help the custodian clean up around the school. And that's my story. They almost suspended him, but I guess they decided not to. Whew. Alright, so as you can tell, my mouth is still on fire. And now my stomach is on fire as well, so we'll see how this goes. I've heard that throwing up from Carolina Reapers is not an uncommon experience. Whew. There we go. I'm prepared though. If it comes to that. Oh fuck. So when I initially ate it, it kind of felt almost like it tasted like a jalapeno, you know? Now the heat is on. These are homegrown, so I will say I'm not sure exactly how hot they are compared to ones that are commercially cultivated. I'm actually feeling tingling in my hands now, so that's fun. All I can do is sit here and think about my decisions. Well, I even did this. There's no going back now, though. And another fun fact is the heat produced by peppers. The heat in them is actually oil-based. So what a lot of people do, obviously, is they'll eat something hot, and then they'll try to drink water, right? And that's actually worse, because they're oil-based. The oils actually float on top of the water and spread. It just makes things a whole lot worse for you. Oh boy. And as you may be able to see, my shirt says In Flames, after the Swedish melodic death metal band. This wasn't intentional, but I realized, compared to what we're up against, it's actually a wee bit ironic. Ooh. So I did those ghost peppers. A video, pretty cringe to be honest. I'm not going to show it, if I can even recover it. It's from an old camcorder. But, pretty much the entire video, all I was doing was just drinking milk and calling the guy who wimped out a pussy. But this time, we're raw dogging this. Whew. I would like to think that we're past the worst of it now. But who knows, there might be a second wind here. My stomach is still on fire. It's kind of interesting though, because it like comes in waves. I am surprised that I'm actually able to talk. Whew. And yeah, I definitely am not in a clear mental state here. You're gonna eat Carolina Reapers. Don't do it while driving. I think that can go without being said, but you know, compared to some of the challenges out there, who knows? Oh God. Can you hear me now? So nothing happened with the cop? Yeah, I'm definitely feeling the endorphins here. Yeah, I know, you know, with the opiate epidemic and all. Who needs opiates? Just pop a Reaper in their mouth before the surgery and they'll get there in no time. That's definitely our watering. I'm crying quite a bit. I still have my contacts in, so that's good. On the bright side, though, I will say this is probably the wildest endorphin rush I've ever had in my entire life. I was thinking though, hey, maybe I'll end up having a dud, but Yeah, that was not a case. I will say after this, I have no desire to ever do this again. There is just a slight burn in my throat now. Not noticing anything in my stomach. At least substantial, but my tongue's still definitely on fire. So right now, it seems that I am in fact past the worst of it. What I have right now is like a slight burn in my tongue, kind of like right after you eat a jalapeno. But with that being said, I have a pretty gnarly endorphin rush here, so I'm gonna go stop the recording and go lay down. So reporting back now, I'm definitely past the worst of it. Right now it's just kind of like a mild to moderate burning on my tongue, kind of like when you eat something like really spicy like Tabasco and you get that kind of like I describe it as like zing almost. Don't touch your face, that's why I'm wearing gloves. But just like this kind of zing on my tongue. I can't talk much better. But yeah, like I remember when I ate the ghost pepper, it was like an insane burning. That was, granted, 12 years ago, so I don't really remember it too much. But with this one, it almost felt like when I ate it, like the nerves in my tongue, they were past the point of firing anymore. It's like maximum pain and heat threshold reached. Like, it wasn't possible for my nerves in my tongue to fire any more than the pain that I was currently feeling. But as you can see, my eyes definitely are pretty glossy and a little red. I've noticed, though, that usually my eyes, they just do get glossy, not so much red. But yeah, we definitely are past the worst of it. I will say, though, this endorphin rush is freaking wild. Like the craziest I've probably ever had. But yeah, with that being said, I survived. So that's nice. Anyway, if you watched this, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hayden signing off. So it's the next day now, just an update on the pepper situation. So in my last clip, you might have noticed the curtains in the background. I was actually sitting on my couch when I made that. And, you know, I was near the end of the burning on my tongue. And after the pain on my tongue almost completely subsided, I want to say about 15 minutes after that, my stomach started killing me. So I it got unbearable sitting up on my couch. So I actually ended up going to my bed. And for the next few hours, it was probably the most excruciating stomach pain I have ever had in my life. It came in waves, right? So like, I'd be like curled up in the fetal position with just this terrible pain. Then it would subside for a little bit. Like, it would still be there, but it would be mild enough to where I could like move. So I'd go over to my fridge, grab like a glass of milk, drink a little bit, go back to the bed, then lay down again. Then another wave would come, and that went on for the next few hours. After that, I mean, the pain in my stomach, it was still there, but it was more of like an uncomfortable level as opposed to just completely unbearable. My wife was nice enough to make me a grilled cheese, and I didn't have any appetite, but I was able to eat that for what I'd consider maybe like a late lunch. Then around dinner, I did eat close to a full meal. It was a little bit lighter than what I would typically do. However, I was able to, you know, eat a full meal. Then this morning, my stomach definitely wasn't happy, but I will spare you the details on that. I mean, I'm still not completely back to normal, but, you know, I was able to go to work, obviously. But
Just a word to the wise. If you do plan on eating a Carolina Reaper, and by the way, this did not happen back when I ate the ghost peppers. And it might just be because I'm older now and my body isn't as tolerant to abuse. But just keep in mind that if you are going to eat a Carolina Reaper, that just the 20 minutes of your tongue and your mouth burning isn't where the pain ends. Afterwards, you are going to probably have some of the worst gastrointestinal pain that you have ever had in your entire life. Oh, and to make things better, while I was laying in bed, I was burping a lot more, right? And I noticed whenever I burped, I just got the taste of that Reaper in my mouth again. And that did continue until I ate dinner. So, if you plan on going down this rabbit hole, just keep those in mind. Do I regret doing this? Nah, not really now that it's over. In the moment, I probably did. But am I going to do this again, and do I want to endure that again? Absolutely not.